My name is Zita, and welcome to Zita's Healthy Beginnings and World of Women podcast. Today is October the 11th, and we are here on our podcast with one of our guests that you have seen in the past. She's coming back. Harumi is coming back with some new information she wanted to share with us. And before we pass it on to her, I just wanted to remind us that October is the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Not all of us are aware of some of these remembrances, we have every month. So I just felt that this is very important for us since we are focused on helping women and children build a healthy world, healthy environment. So a lot of people have heard how rampant cancer among women is really increasing by the day. It's really scary. And once still, breast and ovarian cancer are very common in many women right now. We don't really know the cause of cancer in many cases, but we know some of the predisposing factors. Things for women is stress, high stress level, our environment, the food we eat, some of the relationships we keep as well. We talk about some medications. These are some of the areas and things that we're beginning to focus now on evidence-based and research are beginning to confirm that some of these issues are really contributing to the high level and increase in the incidence of breast cancer and ovarian cancer. And it's also concerning to know that there's a particular kind of a cancer, breast cancer, that is seen among the women of color, and it's more aggressive. And so we try to bring that awareness to everybody, and not only that, to encourage our Black population to really pay attention, learn more. As you consult with your doctor, you want to find more information on this condition we're talking about and find ways that you can really avoid it. And one of the ways that we do know is by really engaging in breastfeeding. For women who are intending to get married, please just bear that in mind, that breastfeeding your baby for even at least 1 month reduces your incidence of breast and ovarian cancer by close to 40%. Can you imagine? Can you believe that? So please, just so we are aware of that. And remember, I know men don't like pink, but remember in any way you can to show the world that we are creating more awareness of breast cancer and try to put on pink or even create that awareness wherever you are. This evening, we have a breast cancer survivor, and that's Harumi, and she's gonna share with us her experience and how she pulled through that. So Harumi, my friend, you're welcome. Talk to us. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Zita. Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity to talk about. Yes, October is the awareness month for the breast cancer. So that's why we're saying pink, wear the pink. And actually, my husband, I got a T-shirt for my husband. It says, "Men wear pink."
Great. Oh, I like to look for that.
Yeah, I will look for after that. I will check. Okay. Yes. Oh, yes. I am actually 14. This is my 14th 14th year of breast cancer warrior. I say warrior. And when I went to see my doctor oncologist, Dr. Mary Lou Meyer, she dismissed me. She dismissed me because of this 14 year. So I don't have to go back to see her. Well, I have to do annual mammogram. Yes,
Yeah.
that's why I got to know what I have in my body. But actually, because I usually hold back because of my dense breast, so I checked by myself that there's something. But the amazing thing was cancer does not to matter you are healthy or you have energy, you feel good, because I did not feel anything different. I was so healthy. I did not eat any junk food so much, or I do exercise, but still I get to cancer. So that's why it's so important to do something besides doing normal things. But like Zita mentioned, come to think about it, during that time, 14 years ago, I guess I got a lot of stress because you heard stress is the biggest killer, especially oxidative stress, because we have to breathe the air to survive. But at the same time, breathing air, oxidation is happening to your body. I know our body has defensive mechanism to create antioxidants, but we need more than that. That's why I am so big on promoting this. This is only one fight against bad free radicals. There are two kinds, good free radicals or bad free radicals. This is only one fight against bad free radicals. So you get more antioxidants into your body, into your brain, because it's in the water. The company find a way to infuse hydrogen into the water. It tastes like just water you just drink every day. And you can also apply on your skin or cut or burn. It's a really sophisticated first aid kit. And also cancer is coming, yeah, oxidative stress, and also cancer is coming from how you feel as well, because I've heard these things, how you feel, you can really, because of the your feeling, emotion really helps you heal your cancer. You don't really have to do some other things. Yes, there's some more information to go with. And this program is helping women like child. So she mentioned about raising or bearing the baby. I just want to tell you this. This is just, well, it's not just supplements. One of the supplemental class. It really helps pregnant women to stay healthy. It's amazing. So we just love to share the information. That's all. But so this is a month of awareness of breast cancer. We really want to pay attention to your body, to staying healthy, because it's so easy to forget about what your body is telling you. Because if you take care of your body, in return, it will take care of you. So that's why I'm here to just to tell you how important to take care of yourself, because you have to love yourself first to love others. If you're not, who's gonna love you, right? And then you have to take care of you first. If you don't, who's gonna take care of you? You have to take care of you first, and then you can take care of your kids, and you take care of your husband or friends and family. Yes, let's take care of ourselves. What do you say, self-help? Yeah. Thank you, Zita.
You're welcome. Yeah, Harumi, thank you so much for sharing with us and being open to, sharing your experience and knowing that you're a survivor. One thing I wanted to add is just for people to know that if a woman is diagnosed with breast or ovarian cancer, it's not a death sentence. I remember a few years ago when people are like 20 years ago, I want to say, once people find out that they are being, they had the diagnosis of ovarian cancer or breast cancer, it's like a death sentence. And some of them actually died from the chemotherapy that they were receiving. So it wasn't really the disease itself that killed them, but it was the medication. It was either it was too much or it wasn't the right one and stuff like that. So right now, I want to say that in the 21st century and 2022, medical system and the healthcare system have really come a long way. Now there are finer ways, more evidence-based ways of really treating some of these conditions that women are no longer, and there are very different options right now. And doctors and healthcare providers have more knowledge, about how these conditions happen, and they can actually customize treatment. So it's no longer one size fits all kind of treatment. And there's also a holistic approach to treatment. Now that we have Harumi, I want to ask you a quick question. So when you were going through the treatment, did you combine the spiritual aspect with the physical aspect of therapy? Because that is what we are encouraging people to do right now, that you're not only looking at the medical intervention, but you also want to look at the holistic approach, because we are made of physical, mental, psychological, and of course, spiritual. So when we are taking care of our broken body, we want that approach that is holistic, that would be really the real treatment approach that should be invoked right now. And I know in many systems, hospitals and clinics and other places are really beginning to utilize this approach, and we're getting evidence-based that this is really working. So Harumi, you want to share quickly, were you able to, take advantage of some of those things, including the stuff you're asking us to buy, because I know that's preventative care is also important.
Yeah, thank you, Zita. Yeah, I just remember, because you mentioned about chemo, I just remember this one question. My doctor means my surgeon. She said, because she told me before the chemo, before meeting my oncologist for chemotherapy, she said, you are a good candidate for chemo. I was not sure what that means, good candidate for chemo. But I found out later, because I was able to tolerate any chemotherapies. I was okay because I was actually healthy to start with, even though, because they checked everything before deciding what kind of treatment I need to receive. After checking my body, they said, oh, you are healthy as a horse. So that's why I was a very good candidate. So I did not really suffer besides getting a Benadryl. I hate the Benadryl because it made me drowsy. I hate it. But other than that, my chemo treatment was just very smooth. So I didn't really have this spiritual thing, because that time we didn't know anything about the church. We didn't go to church. We didn't have this supplements we have now. But I was really okay. So I feel like I was really blessed because I didn't really have to suffer just losing the hair. That was really interesting too. Yeah, after 2 treatments, I decided to just shave off the hair. It's so nice. Don't have to do anything. But I have to tell you, when I went to Zumba. I just love Zumba. When I went to Zumba, I have to, because I didn't want to show anything. I losing hair, so I was a hairpiece, and also on top of that, do some kind of handkerchief, not to lose my wig. So it gets so hot. So finally, I gave up not to do this, just like a handkerchief bandana on my head. I felt so good, released. I'm free. I can do this. So Frida.
Absolutely. That's great. And that's one of the fears that women have with the chemo. It's the side effect.
Yes, right.
The side effect is that the hair loss, and we know our hair is the beauty of women. So when you have that thought of even losing your hair, it's very scary, you know. And you said something that was really important. One of the things you mentioned was your baseline health, you know, and that's why we keep encouraging people to really make sure they're building their health, you know, getting the right immunity to support your system.
Right.
Because we live in an environment that is very aggressive. It's not a friendly environment with all the uh, artificial stuff, the chemicals everywhere. We find it in the water, we find it in the field, we find it on the trees, we find it on flowers. So you find it even on our hair product, skin product, everything. So it's like, you're like, oh my goodness, where do you find there's no safety anywhere. So, but what we need, which is really our responsibility, is to protect ourselves, build our immunity, eat good food, make sure we keep good company, support one another, and support group is one of the, you know, recommendations that we encourage people to do. Not necessarily when one is sick, but even when you're living your normal life, find a community where you identify with. We know people are busy these days, but it's always good for one to be on the preventative side. Make sure you have good relationship and have a family that really are really cohesive, a family that understands one another, is supportive, and helping to build each other up. So when one gets sick, then you know that you have your baseline health as being stable. You cannot really go so low or have the sickness catch you that bad or have some adverse effect even when you're taking the treatments. Once you have that good foundation, it goes a long way to support you. And you can see that evidence when Harumi said she was really, her doctor said that she is the good candidate for chemo. Why? Because she has no what we call underlying problems or predisposing factors. So that you would be saying, oh my gosh, we can't do this because of that. So it is very important that we take into account how we live, what we eat, how we take care of ourselves, because the truth of the matter is every single one of us has cancer cells. We all have it. The question is, how do I live? I live my life in such a way that I'm always in control. My body is always in control. And one of the ways that our bodies are in control is when you build your immunity. That way you're not being susceptible to any kind of infection or any kind of disease. So cancer cells will always take upper hand, like I said earlier, if one is having excessive stress in their life, you're worrying a whole lot, and you're actually exposing yourself to an environment that is not friendly. Even the water we drink these days, paying attention to the products you use, paying attention to the way you carry on every day your relationships. So all of this really add up. And I'm glad that we have today in our midst, Harumi trying to share and also educating us on how to take care of ourselves with also her products. I encourage people to reach out to her. Harumi, if you have your information, please share that with us in the chat so people can get hold of you when they need that. The other thing is I'm also going to open it up to people to ask you questions, because I know you have a limited time. So if anybody has questions for Harumi, please, this is your time to unmute and ask your questions.
Good.
So always remember that this podcast is brought to us through the World of Ability podcast in collaboration with Transform You Network and Park. And as usual, we are very happy for the opportunity they give us on this platform to reach our friends and our audience.
I just wanted to ask something.
Yes, please go ahead.
My question is, like, if I promote the park that she was showing to my friends and teachers, and they want to know, today people want to question what is in it.
Oh, yes.
They want to know because they are scared to take a product where they don't know exactly what is there.
Product means like this and like this Izumio thing.
Yeah, that one, Izumio.
Yes, I can send you all the information, and also the link shows as well, but I'll send you because it's really safe. It's just water, it's got hydrogen in it. Actually, hydrogen, our cells have hydrogen in it already. So it's really nothing too new to the body. And also, this Izumio is actually used by one of the Nobel nominee science researchers. He uses our Izumio for his lab research, and this is totally safe from young to senior, baby to more younger people. And also those supplements as well. These are all natural, nothing to do with this chemical or anything. Yes, it's all safe, but I can share the ingredients.
Yeah, so that if I'm able to explain the way you do, that makes me like,
yeah,
good
yes.
to sell
I will
your product.
educate you. Yes, we need to be educated. What's it? What does for you? Yes.
Yeah, the other thing I wanted to just add on was when you were talking about this breast cancer thing.
Yes.
It is really, really, I was talking to a certain doctor. I don't know whether this is the right place to talk about it, but I think it's open. Says, we are, this idea of us women wearing these bras that have come with metal, that this may not be a good thing. We need to examine that metal that goes around, which is like a stiff at the end. Is that okay for us to wear day in and day out? You need to find out that, because that too may not be something, type of bras may not be apart from, our friends who have the opportunity to have children and be able to breastfeed them. Some of us are not able, we gave up that.
Yeah, I've heard about that for the metal breast, yes, the thing, but there's some other opportunities as well. I think I've heard that, yes. Zita, you might know, yes. I think there's an alternative to that, more healthier.
Right, exactly. Yes, we encourage women these days to actually go through to just be leaning to things that are close to natural, because someone might come out and tell you, well, that wire is like every other wire, there's nothing in it. How do we know that? It's not proven yet. And we know it's not part of your nature. So what I would recommend is look at, and there are a lot of stuff coming up these days, especially on the fitness side. So you can find a lot of things that look like bra, kind of, and they can really give you the real support you need without that extra wire. So I strongly encourage women to go to products. I don't care what anybody's telling you, even if is their doctor trying to convince you. Don't listen to that, because that is your body. It is your body. And if anything happens, it's only you that is going to suffer that. There's nobody else. So I would strongly recommend that we go closer to nature, be it the food we eat, be it in an environment that we live in, be it even using our cars or whatever. Anything that is closer to nature, I highly recommend, because there are things that we know that are out of control, like some of the food we eat, most of them, let me just be honest, that a lot of them have chemicals that are not compatible with our body system. And they tell you, well, it's a little bit. Yeah, so, but when a little bit here, a little bit there, it adds up. So that's what especially women, we are really at a hot spot here. We are the mercy of a whole lot of conditions, more than men. And it's just that's the way we are made. So we have to be aware of that. And we need to be very alert when products that are not compatible with our body are there. A lot of them are there in the marketplace, and they make them sometimes cheaper. That way, a lot of us that cannot really afford some of this naturally made stuff, they tend to be more expensive. We tend to go for this cheaper stuff, but also we pay for that in the end. So I would like to encourage everyone, please pay attention to the product you use and things you buy. There are a lot of options when you go to do your shopping. Just pay attention, bear that in mind, share with your friends and with your family that some of those things are not proven yet, and the science will always say, well, if it's not proven, it's not believable. But I tell you, just use your brain. Just know that it's your life. You got to protect it. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah, I think that was a great question. Yes, I've heard about this.
Yeah, that's a great question. All right. Thank you so much. Yeah. So anyone else with any more question for Harumi before she jumps off the
jumps off the boat? Before I jump off the boat, can I just add one more information, because this will, I don't know where to put it. This will help the family, women family too. So I just put the information so you can connect me.
Good.
And then and then I just hide myself. I look for the t-shirt so I can show you when I come back for the.
Okay, all right. You're gonna go look for it.
Yes, to show you. Yeah.
Okay.
But thank you very much for this.
Before you go, Harumi, looks like Kat has a question. Kat, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was gonna offer something. Harumi, did you want to interact with me here for a little bit, or did you want to go?
No, I just have to interact with you, Kat. Cannot refuse, no.
All right. So, Harumi, what they call this the build-up in the business. When you're in the business, there's something called a build-up. So we're gonna build this up. First of all, I can share that my mother and father both passed away from cancer. So when we talk about, cancer gene and the heredity aspect of that, I definitely have that, in my blood. And, I have other health concerns and so forth as well. So when I get in a conversation about supplementation or these health products, I think about how we've gotten here. And I think about what I've learned in the history of health products, for me, loosely going back to the 1950s, and then following how this intensified across the decades. And so now we're in 2022 and things are happening as predicted. Decades ago, they predicted that, the healthcare products industry was going to be this massive as it is today, which the company you bring to us and the products you're sharing with us are all in the midst of this. So, and when I think of, what this supplementation is doing, is it's dealing with some other environmental issues going on around, and then just human behavior, our culture that we're taking, especially here in the US, a very consumer driven culture. And so we're reaching to these things because of what we're not accomplishing in food supply. We're always taught as early as children about how diet and exercise are the building blocks to health. So where we're falling short in diet and where we're falling short in exercise, like even before coming on this show, we were talking amongst ourselves, and we were talking about how, we're doing so much through a computer nowadays. We're not into that agronomy where we're going out there and we're getting that sweat pouring out of our skin, and getting out in the hot sun, and really working our systems that way. So these things are very helpful to compensate for our trends. And there's some things to this that don't show itself, so that's where we're talking about science and whatever. And what I think people have an opportunity to look at is to understand that stuff that we don't see with the naked eye. So if we think of the simple building blocks of matter in terms of neutrons, protons, electrons, and we think of ourselves as balls of energy, and we look at the things that ail us, it's because we have things in our environment, like we think of Wi-Fi, and we think of all these things that are combating us all the time. This is where this prevalence of cancer and these things that we didn't see as much back in 1920, let's say. Let's look at where we were a century ago, and so this is what the product is doing. And so what I want to say, Harumi, is since, designers will tell me form follows function. So here we got the form of what you're showing us, the product for what it is, and your company for what it provides. And then the function is to help us out because we understand, that we're falling short in diet and exercise. So what have you found in this product? Because like I've built it up that there's so many other options. We're being bombarded with nutritional options. So to me, you have aligned yourself with this product and this company, and you have definite reasons for doing so. So where is the passion coming from, Harumi, that you're aligned with what you're sharing today?
Oh my gosh, Carlos, there are so many things to tell you. First, for this Iwuoha, nobody does. Iwuoha, put it hydrogen infused into the water. Well, actually, this was made in Japan. In Japan, actually, there are 100 different companies are doing that hydrogenated water. But this is Iwuoha, the only one really does what it says. That's why it's been #1 sold. This was created in 2007. Yes, close to 20 years. Yeah, it's been #1. No wonder why, because you get so much results. Like I said, this is the only one fight against bad free radicals. Nobody does that. And it goes into your brain as well, because it's in the molecular level, the smallest molecular level. So brain usually reacts. So that's why there are so many autism or dementia or ADD, those people, but this helps. And also you're talking about compared to 1925 or 1950, because we need supplement, because the quality of produce is deteriorating, right? Even compared to 10 years ago. That's why we need something to supplement, lacking something to our body. See, carotenoids, our body needs carotenoids, but different from antioxidants. Our body does not create carotenoids. That's why you hear all the time, eat dark, colorful fruits and vegetables. But again, the quality is deteriorating. But here, Dr. Kartik, he found a way to put the 6 key carotenoids into this little tub, soft gel supplement. So you get 85% of carotenoids into this little tub, this pill. And on top of that, you can prove how much carotenoids you put in your body. Like we have a device to check your numbers. The high number is better. So that's why I am so passionate about. And one more. This amazing Iwuoha, it's a hybrid between animals and plant. It's all 100% natural. The president of this company created this because he wants to save the hunger kids and all over, because this product gets more this is supplements, but he came up with creating cookies to give you more nutrients to those hunger kids in the world. So this procedure, like 10 cents, goes into the Save the Hunger. It's amazing company. That's why I'm so passionate about it, to let everybody is aware what is available, since the natural classes just came to the States 2014. It's still new. So that's why I'm here, Coach. Did I answer your question?
That was perfect. That was perfect. That was as good as I could hope for. I was trying to put you up to sharing everything you just did. So thank you very much. That was good.
Yeah, that's really great. Thanks for thanks, Kat, for that question. And Harumi did a great job. And I think that, like, we're talking about the 1920s as opposed to today, a lot of people are no longer, like Kat rightly put it, engaged in the physical activities that should actually, one is doing physical activities, you're getting in more oxygen and getting rid of all those carbon dioxide that you don't need. But you don't even have, people are kind of absorbing more carbon dioxide right now, more than the oxygen. And what does that do to your body is the question. It does a whole lot of havoc to our bodies. And then it's also feeding those cancer cells instead of feeding the healthy cells, because they're not really getting anything that is healthy. So it's feeding the bad ones. So those bad ones, at some point, they get so full that they want to explode. And where they're exploding is in our precious body. So, and something Kat mentioned that really reminded me, for women, we are taught, I think science has proven that early detection of some of these diseases or cancers really helps early intervention. So once the diagnosis is early, it also helps. So preventative care is a priority right now, which unfortunately our country are not really paying too much attention to. We all want to do brain surgery and all that, but nobody pays much attention what causes brain tumors and see how we can really prevent them. We are waiting for experts to show us they can do brain surgery. Nobody really wants to go through that. We want to know what can help us to protect our brains, to protect our eyes, protect our organs, and not really something that people will prove that they have the skills to do. So we want to pay attention to some of those things. Preventive care, like I said, is one. And for women, if people are aware that family history, they have that history in their family, we're encouraging them to get some advice from their doctors, and start. For women, you want to start on time doing your self-examination and doing your mammogram early enough. And as you get in contact with your provider, medical provider, they will encourage you, and they will also give you some directions on what to do and how to take care of yourself. We know that the regular recommendation is after 40, women should start doing their mammogram every year. Some say for women that have some history, should actually, family history, should actually do that every year. But if you don't have any history, do it every other year. And Harumi had also a good point on that. She said, nobody knows these days who has the history or who don't. Plus, those that do not have the history are still coming down with the cancer. So you're right, like, to be on the safe side, just check. Just go for that preventive care by getting that routine annual check. And if your doctor suggests otherwise, please follow the instructions and do what is needful to protect yourself and to protect your family from some of these diseases that we can do our best to prevent. We know that there are some of them that you cannot do anything about, but as long as we're doing our own part, the rest, we hopefully trust that God will take care of us and protect us. And for the environment and the food we're talking about, I think there has to be an intervention that is going to be quick. We would like our government to really pay attention to some of this, especially the food and the pharmaceutical industry, to look into how our food are being prepared these days. Who is farming? What are they using? All this mass production, food production, how healthy are they? So paying more attention to what is we're putting in our body every single day is really priority for me, and hopefully for all of us, that we start creating that awareness, especially as we remember breast cancer this month, that we do a little bit more. If we haven't been doing that in the past, please start. And if you've been doing it, please do a little bit more. Talk to more people. Talk to about 5 more people than what you've been doing, or 10 more people. That is how we really spread the news and help one another. So anyone else has any information, question or comment for Harumi before I let her go? She needs to prepare dinner for her husband.
Yeah, thank you so much, Zita, and thank you very much for Kurt. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Harumi. It was wonderful having you, and we have your contact, and we'll also share that with our audience, and also send you the link so you have that. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you. Bye-bye.
Well, I just step up, but I'll be back with it if I find the teachers, okay?
All right. Okay. Yeah, so anyone else has any comment before we move on a little bit to something else? Okay, so it's still in connection with the month and women and children. Like we all know that Zita's Healthy Beginnings, our goal is to reduce maternal and infant mortality here in the United States and elsewhere. Right now, we are in Nigeria, and we're here in Western Pennsylvania. And we do what we do through education, like we're doing today, creating more awareness on what is going on women's health and child's health. What are the factors that are really increasing the incidence of having women dying either through pregnancy or even after childbirth? So these are the health concerns that we want to create awareness of. We just talked about the cancer, breast cancer, which we know one of the predisposing factors, because actually science has proven that nobody knows what causes cancer. But there are some predisposing factors. So when it comes to the breast cancer, ovarian cancer, they are trying to explain that the stress level that women are going through these days are really more than they can tolerate. So the question is, how do we help a mother? How do we help a young woman who is juggling life, juggling family, education, just to survive in general? How do you really support this person in the family, among friends, in the society? What are the things that we need to do to help one another, especially our mothers or our young women who are looking forward to becoming mothers and to give birth to children? Because what is going on is you can't change what you can't give what you don't have. A lot of young women are going through a lot of stress, going through a lot of challenges in their individual lives. And some of them without support, we carry that into family life. And when that happens, we are left with, the whole residual passes on to the babies. So that you see that whole pattern. And then so forth, the baby grows up and stuff continues to happen. So the question is, how do we break that? How do we break that link of unhealthy living, unhealthy behavior, unhealthy lifestyle? What do we do? How do we really on a daily basis support young women, support young men to get them ready to build families that are healthy and families that will be productive and in the future? So how do we do that? I want to leave that open for the few minutes we have. If anyone has some suggestions they can give to our young people, or even people who are already having babies, especially mothers, how they can really take care of themselves and take care of their families. Please, you're welcome to make any kind of contribution if you have any questions.
All right, so Zita, again, this is about thinking about the future, thinking about children, and you're asking for suggestions how young adults can transition into adulthood, having better guidance for being healthy themselves and healthy babies and healthy families. You're looking at that transition in life.
Right.
Yeah, so I think every person has the opportunity to consider how well they feel they're doing themselves, health wise and so forth. And, whatever connection, if for sure that has happened with parents, so on and so forth, kind of looking at the influence others have had. So adults influencing their life growing up. And then I think generationally, we're always considering what we might do different. So I think when we get to the point of family planning and doing all this, we're always deciding, what we hold as what we want to pass on, what our teaching is, and leading by example, setting to practice, and when we're talking about raising kids and then you get into the socialization, you're always looking at, kind of where is your child going to be in contrast with their peers, because psychologically, children have to deal with that if they're not as healthy as the next kid, that can be, a topic of playtime and playfulness and maybe bullying or things like this, and vice versa. If somebody's too much of a health stickler and sounding like a parent, or a kid is bothered by that, you have that. So I think that's where life is, kind of that balance between what we're taught in principle and then how it works in reality. And everything in health is about habits. And there's a friend of mine that in her practice, she talks about that children eat healthier with common meals. So in this day and age where parents are so busy, all these different family dynamics, and adults are pulled away from kids, and kids are left in many cases to fend for themselves, I think we in the adult community need to realize that there's no getting around it, that has a definite consequence for children. We're not setting aside that time to have that common sitting and we're all enjoying a meal together. My understanding is there's science and studies around that's a big deal.
Thank you so much, Kat, for that. Yes. Yeah, it goes back to upbringing, the roles parents play, role model. You're going to have to show them how to do that by doing it yourself. And that goes a long way to help them. And that is that continuity. As I said earlier, you don't really give what you don't have. So if we're giving it to our family and giving it to our younger ones, they learn and they know naturally to pass it on. If they don't get it, then forget it. And what do? The whole roller coaster kind of life continues, and that is not helpful to anybody. So yeah, thank you for making that wonderful contribution. And I'm hoping that our audience and those of us who are still here now have learned from listening to each other and sharing. And let us keep passing this good news on to other people, reminding us that this month is October and it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And do some action every day that will remind us to bear in mind what that means. Know what is going on in the society around breast cancer and what can be done to really not 100% eliminating it, but reducing the incident, because it's becoming more rampant these days. And it's a concern for me and hopefully for the rest of us, because we want a future where women are healthy enough to take care of their families. Because if they're not, guess what? It's going to impact all of us. So I am so glad that we have shared, and hopefully we'll pass it on as the month passes by. And also, I know there are some communities that are really engaging in awareness programs, community events. So please get yourself engaged in one of those programs. Go online as well. There are a whole lot of YouTube information out there trying to explain what this, both how to the diagnosis goes, therapy, other stuff that is helpful information out there. Please take advantage of those and help yourselves and help your family. Next week, Tuesday, we are here. We're hopefully having Harumi join us. She's going to share with us what she has done as a woman, how entrepreneurship has, her entrepreneurial mentality has helped her and helped her family. So we want to also listen to her and share with our audience and have them learn from her and ask her questions too. So please come back on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern and join us. As usual, we thank Emily and Kat and the rest of the Ability Podcast for their help and the opportunity they give to us every week to get, get on here and to address certain issues that are really worrisome in our communities. So we're hoping that this audience and this platform provides answers to some of the crucial health concerns and other social issues that we all go through on a daily basis, both here in our country and globally. So thank you all. Harumi did not get the t-shirt, but please, we're encouraging guys to also wear a t-shirt, pink, in remembrance of this, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Thank you, everyone, and have a great night. Thank you.
Wow. The wow.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
But